Hello, brothers. I want to talk a little bit about the Panafricentric Ministry and why this is something that came about, and it's because of my experiences in life. I've been with the church over 45, 50 years, over 40 something years, and I'm talking about committed and not so committed. Maybe I've gone out, maybe I did a tour or did some, not a tour, but I did a lot of studying in the universities. I've done some military, and I've done some other things like renewable energy and things I was interested in outside of um, the faith that I'm a member of. And so my life is full of a lot of other things that go along with my walk with God. And so I haven't been a perfect man in some of the darkest times of my walk, and I'm very very thankful to God that He spared me. I'm very thankful to God that He understood my down times. But for the most part, from my perspective, I've been trying to roll on like a soldier, and there's been men that have watched my life when it was at its peak, and they've seen my life when I was at my lowest. So I'm not a perfect man. I'm not coming here as a perfect, throwing stones at anyone, but we all have to make it. And so they say when God helps you up, or somebody helps you up, you turn around and give them a hand up. And so that's what it's all about. Um, in this one, the Pan-Afrocentric Ministry is something that may not appeal to men who have many years in pastorship, men who are very strong willed on the scriptures, like I have mentioned in these previous topics about preventing people from coming in. But I'm trying to do something that will make a way for people to be able to come into the sheepfold by acknowledging that we do have some social justice issues that need to be um, addressed, and that the church is a vital part of that and should be doing that. And if you can find a church that is helping with the soul of man and also aiding and helping with the social injustices towards that afflict African people, I think that that would be a good ministry to go to. As long as they're following the scriptures, and as long as they are leading you to the way that you should go. I would say steer clear of organizations that say that have a real bad um, focus on Christ. I think that you could tell a lot about a ministry in the way they see Christ. I'm not talking about just the 3 year Jesus that walked on the earth, but just the way they see Christ, period, even after the 3 years ministry, the way they see that Christ. Because if you have a scripture and you have some things that saying, I'm the way, truth, life, no man cometh to the Father except through me, that's basically it in a nutshell. If people don't accept that, that's their business. But if you have a ministry, if you're a believer and there's a ministry that pushes that, and they talk about delivering the people through the blood of Christ, those are holy good holiness ministries. You could probably go with that, but a lot of them don't have a social or social message. I remember a long time ago I attended this. Not I wasn't a member, but I remember sitting down in this one congregation. This was 30 some years ago, maybe. It was a white minister. Very nice church, very nice setup. But after I left there, years down the road, he made a statement that there's no such thing as a social gospel. And see, these guys, they talk about the kingdom. These white preachers, they talk about the kingdom, and they talk about souls being saved, but you'll hardly ever, no matter how, I don't even need to call their names, but all the high profile white preachers, evangelists, I can call out names of many of them, not to slander or anything like that, but just to say I don't recall, and listening to their messages, along with many black ministers, I don't recall any of those white preachers ever preaching against Klansmen activity or white supremacy. I've never heard them talk about anything and how the government's treating people who are slave descendants, and I don't hear it. Even Dr. King, when he was in the Birmingham jail, he wrote a letter in the Birmingham jail about trying to nudge the clergy to take action, the white clergy, in this march for social justice. He had to nudge them. And see, these men are supposed to be men of God. And I know that some of my critics out there who are radical, what you call black Africans that hate white, that hate. They don't have anything good to say about them. I understand some of that, but at the same time, these guys, I was listening as a young boy. I was only, 15, 16, trying to figure out why did I hear people like Martin Luther King speaking, and why did I hear people like, I hear Louis Farrakhan speaking on TV from the Nation of Islam, and he's talking about social injustices, but then when it came to white ministers, high profile, Holy Ghost, charismatic type preachers, man, I wish I could just say the names, but I don't want anybody to run and say I said something bad about it, because I'm not saying anything bad about what they said. I'm just saying what they did not say and what they did not address. How can you be in there ministering healings, having prophetic words, seeing visions and dreams, and never seeing the racial stuff that is tearing the nation apart and never addressing it and rebuking it and calling it out like you do all these other things? I don't understand that. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So when I came with Panafricentric Ministries and you guys want to talk about that's not of God, what it is saying is whatever was taken from us, whatever was lied to us about, whatever was robbed, the thief coming not but to kill, steal, and destroy, whatever cultural identity, whatever was taken from us, Panafricentric Ministries is designed to heal and to aim to heal or to recover some of that information and put us on the right track towards loving ourselves like we should, seeing ourselves as we should, and interacting with each other as we should, and interacting with our oppressor and enemy as we should. Not how we've been conditioned to do it, which is against our survival. So Panafricentric Ministries is a title, not to change the gospel, not to add to the gospel, but to help aid in the social guidance, the psychological guidance, and the emotional guidance to see yourself in a more favorable light and then begin to interact with society from a healed, level mind. And that is the basic function and purpose of that Panafricentric Ministries, helping Africans all over see the way that they should see things and understand, because we have maybe a common spiritual aim, that is to enter into the kingdom as believers, but we have different struggles, different afflictions. Like I said, if you were afflicted with a common cold, you take remedies for that common cold. If you're afflicted with cancer, you deal with treatment for cancer. If you have a problem with eye, what you call if you have eye trouble, you see a specialist for the eye. Now, in this life, we have cultural issues. We specialize in cultural refinement. We have self-identity issues we issue with refining our outlook about our identity. So this is very much needed for our youth. And so any of you old, beat down pastors that keep wanting to talk about it is not of God, you can say that. But I'm going to keep going, because anytime you got children picking up, black African children picking up white dolls saying this is prettier, better, smarter, intelligent, nice, and then looking at the black doll saying this is ugly, dumb, stinky, and poor, and unintelligent, or whatever they want to call it, we had a problem. And that's reflected in youth ages almost like, 6 to 9 years age? Come on now. How did they get that? What have you done as a church to undo that? You just gave them an identity in some God that they have never seen. At the same time, they're hating who you and I look like and who we're associated with on the continent of Africa. You're part of the problem. That's why you need something like this, because of what man has done. This has come about not because what God needs, it's because of what man has done. So we have to come and undo it. Remember back in the 1968, just before King was killed, he went to the sanitation working strike that they were having. He said all labor has dignity. And he said that they needed jobs, and it had signs on the man's front and back when they were protesting saying that I am a man. They had to walk around with signs saying I'm a man, because so many instances in society has emasculated our men to the point where they are not functioning men. So you have to go back and tell them, repeat after me, I'm a man. Repeat after me, I am somebody. I may be black, but I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be educated, but I am somebody. A minister had to come and put this in grown men's mouths in order to get them to see themselves in a favorable light. Then we start having this, what is called Black is Beautiful movement. Because they've been taught that their hair was ugly, their face was ugly, their lips was ugly, their nose. And so when you have something like Panafricentric Ministry, that's because of the damage man has done. It ain't got nothing to do with what God has done. It's what man has done. And when man has done this, man has to come up with something. You talk about Moses using, that reminds me, you talk about Moses using the negative confessions of the Mehuneta, I believe that, or some of the things and teachings of Israel, of Egypt. You're seeing that he used those negative confessions. So what? He used it to help the Israelis start seeing themselves as a nation of people when they were acted upon as slaves. So, you might use stuff in order to rectify your people, get your people up to par. You just use your intelligence. So anyway, that's what you call improvise. Sometimes you don't have what you need to manufacture, but you use improvise devices. Like you improvise. You just, okay, I don't have a good book for the people to guide by a law, so I'm going to use some of the laws that I know that are good and then put it to match the culture of these people and the way they think to serve them. So you improvise. You shape it and tailor it to fit your people. So what? You got it from the walls of Egypt. So what? It's still good stuff. So you just take it and use it for the next generations. But you give credit to it. But anyway, you know what I mean. So anyway, my time is about up here, but I wanted to talk about why I have Panafricentric Ministries, and it's for some of those reasons. So anyway, peace, love, and God bless you.